Good morning, CSL-LA. For everybody in the room and everybody online, we're grateful that you're here today. Reverend Keith Cox is in the house. Sunshine, your eyes, dewdrops, dragonflies. I'm so grateful I'm alive. 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 Oh, grateful. Your voice, waterfall, thrush song, coyote call. Oh yeah, I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. Come on, y'all. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. Your hug, sweet kiss, holding hands in blind bliss. Oh, 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 I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. The shadows I conceal endeavor to reveal another part of me, embracing all that I perceive. Oh, grateful. Cut grass, jasmine bloom, honeysuckle, and your room. Whoa, 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 I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. Come on, y'all. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. Sing it like you mean it. I'm so grateful I'm alive. 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 Oh, grateful. I'm grateful. So grateful.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm just basking in the energy of that. The one and only Jamie Lula, everyone. So happy to have him in the house. How are we all grateful to be alive? Yes. I know for myself, and I'm assuming I'm speaking for each and every one of you as well, that as each day passes in life, the opportunity to be grateful becomes a more resounding opportunity. And not just because life is forever presenting itself to us and through us as an opportunity to make a choice and a decision to tune in to its innate and inherent qualities, but knowing that there are things that happen out in the world of effect, such as the horrible of things that are happening in Maui, Hawaii. There are things in other parts of the continent, as well as I was just talking with my beloved friends Ann and Rachel here about a mutual friend we have who I shared with you all a couple of weeks ago that needed a heart replacement surgery, and poof, one showed up. And how well he's doing and he's home, and just how grateful that we are that he's in his position of life of being over 50, under 80, and now has a 35-year-old heart and just ate a flat iron steak. And Rachel said, well, isn't it great? He has a 35-year-old heart eating a flat iron steak. And I said, yeah, but he's got a 60-something-year-old digestive system. So I don't know that that's a good thing. But he did do it in the confines of Cedars-Sinai at his doctor's order, so that is good. Gratitude. It's one of the most transformative qualities that exist. I'm grateful to be in this very moment right now, witnessing the life of the divine that is expressing itself in all of its magnificence and its glory and its wholeness and its perfection by means of each one of you. So thank you for being here today, and a big hello and thank you to those that are online as well. I know you all got a chance to greet each other outdoors, but I'd like you to take a quick moment and do a hello and a high five to each other if that feels comfortable for you now. Jamie's going to strum just something on the guitar that you get up and go, hi, 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 hi. I love it. So you're doing a non-physical connection. How very appropriate in the metaphysical community. If you're here for the first time, welcome. Those that are repeat metaphysicians, so happy to see you as well. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and I'm the spiritual leader here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles. We've got Travis in the corner doing audio for us, and we're so happy and appreciative of that. We're a community that comes together and have now for many, 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 many years in this city known as Los Angeles for the sole purpose of tuning into the power of the divine that exists by means of us. Many of us are students of the teachings of Dr. Ernest Holmes, who is the creator of the science of the mind. I think probably more revealer would be the right term, right, Jamie? He's the revealer of the science of mind, but what Dr. Ernie and his wife Hazeline did was opened themselves up to the divine, expressing itself through them. And as that was happening, Ernie then took that and allowed Spirit to guide him to put that in written form, which then consolidated a philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind. He took all the great teachings and philosophies of the world at the time and brought them together to consolidate them to the best of his ability, so that there is this teaching that is an opportunity for each one of us to know who we are as a divine being. At its very essence, this philosophy, faith, and way of life tells us that there's only one power that exists in the universe. Now that in and of itself is a really broad and big idea to take in. And yet we all have the capacity to understand it and then to evolve into a higher understanding and a higher understanding of that. Because we live in a universe that is governed by spiritual law, as we open up to that divine energy that exists within us, the law of life responds and brings back to us experiences, physical manifestations, demonstrations in our lives that reflect our state of being. And if we are awake and tuned in to that process, if you will, unfolding, then we experience that which is a reflection of our higher consciousness, which then gives us an opportunity to tune in to an even higher consciousness. Today, I believe we've come together by a divine ordination to all be together in this room and then in this technological forum and format to reach out to those that are watching online to remember that, to honor the divinity that exists within each and every one of us, and then to the best of our ability, outlive, meaning living outwardly, its essence. In our philosophy, faith, and way of life, we choose to believe that the qualities of this divine energy that we each are imbued with include, but are not limited to, peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom. I think if we all were to just open up to just one of those each day, we would make a difference on our planet. And the first incarnation as a community, making a difference, was what this was the vision statement for this community. It's now supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. That spiritual awakening can only happen for us when we open up and let it do its thing through us untethered. A great way to do that is by stepping into a ritual. Stepping into a ritual meaning the repetitive nature of honoring something while not letting it be repetitive. Imagine that, right? Having a Hail Mary, but without it being a Hail Mary, meaning that if we, each time we step into this ritual, that we open ourselves up to a new experience, to a new framework of mind, to a new way of being, then life itself does respond. How does that sound to you guys? Are you up for that?
Yeah.
And so we're going to light the flames of faith today, the ritual that we've done many, many, many times, and welcome to those that just walked in. And I invite us that each time as we hear the acknowledgement of a faith, a practice of a religion, to bring into our mind's eye someone on the island of Maui who may believe this way. And let's take a moment to honor what may be a broken heart. It may be the loss of a loved one. It certainly can be the possibility of a shattered dream. And use our energy today to invoke healing, a revealing of the light of life with this process. Lighting the flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all people and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience. It's that which we honor here today. As I light this candle, sitting between the Buddha, certainly a symbol of great healing and love, and a floral arrangement that I found that I think reminds me of Hawaii. Let's let it, along with the light of the candle, be representative for each of these flames of faith. And so we light this candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way it is known to be. As well, we light it for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. And my sense is probably quite prominent on the islands of Hawaii. We also light it for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, of action and devotion. And for Judaism, as we sit here in a synagogue, a holy space for Judaism. We light this candle honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law, and I invite us to bring into our mind's eye the horrific attacks that are happening in the Jewish community today. And let's shine our light so that any fear may be turned to faith and hope. As well as we light it for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. And we light this candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. This candle is also lit for all forms of Islam, honoring the paths of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And we light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and of peace. We also light it for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. I'd like to also invite in an awareness and a building upon the consciousness of this particular ritual, lighting the flames of faith, the call to service, and it's probably not known in this community, but is used as a opening ritual in centers for spiritual living of New Thought philosophies and centers and environments almost weekly. Imagine if we were to open ourselves to tune in to that energy of healing that has taken place in a center in Glendale or Simi Valley or St. Louis or Atlanta or Canada or South Africa or in Lyon, France, or in Maui, as I was about to say. So it's okay. It's okay. I honor freedom of expression. So as we open up to feeling that, and let's all feel it, I invite us to put our hands on our heart and declare this candle the healing candle. Dr. Ernest Holmes tells us that healing is the act of revealing wholeness, the oneness, the spirit of life itself in and all of life. And as well as we take a moment to silently put into the flame anyone that we'd like to experience the healing flames of God's eternal love, I also would like for us to acknowledge audibly any names that you would like to place into that. I'd like for us to call out healing to our beloved Robert Hensley, whose brother passed away on Friday, and the service is transpiring about right now on the East Coast. Any name or place that you would like to call out, feel free to do so right now. Tricia Stubbs. Andy Belly. And so let's know that these words are not said in vain, that the words indeed have power. There's a universe that backs these words, and as they are spoken, the vibratory frequency of the words and the healing power are indeed in play and in effect. The power of God's healing love goes about its business, making itself known in form. So we open our hands from our heart, ready to receive as Jamie takes us on a song and a chant.
Oh, great spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. Oh, great spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Oh, great spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. Oh, great spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Love is all is love. Join us in singing the music of one in all in one. No greater blessing neath moon or sun. Love is all is love. Join us in singing the music of one in all in one. No greater blessing neath moon or sun. No greater blessing. No greater blessing. No greater blessing.
So take a deep breath in. Just feel this energy. And as we exhale, and so it is. Beautiful. Jamie, it's so beautiful to have you here today.
Good to be here. Thank
You and I, Jamie and I have a long, rich history.
you. Yeah, it's rich.
Really? And long.
Long, rich, beautiful.
Beautiful. And for
A lot
many,
of different
many different, yeah. And for many years, we referred to ourselves as brothers from a different mother.
Yeah, I still refer to us.
I do too. I was about to say, and that is still true.
Yeah.
I feel like we're so blessed not only to just have Jamie here with us today, but Jamie just came from Asilomar, which is a code word in the science and mind movement for the great home, the great zeroing in of home. Sillamar is a conference grounds in Pacific Grove, California, and it was the meeting place where religious scientists for years and years and years would make a pilgrimage every year to be together, to celebrate spirit and to honor their divinity and to be among their tribe. And that has not happened for several years now, and it just happened this past week. And so Jamie is radiating the love that took place there. But one of the things that we were talking about earlier today, because we have many people of our extended family that were all there as well, and Jamie was saying there was a much younger, relative term, but much younger a group of individuals that were speaking. Yeah. And one of the things that they kept asking from the stage is, which I think is so brilliant, if Ernest Holmes was alive today, what would he be writing today? Right? A great question to ask, as well as a great invitation for each one of us to live that out and to not worship him, but to honor him by evolving in the teaching.
I don't think that he's kind of like Beckwith. Beckwith has, I'm not a guru.
Right.
It's I'm teaching you to rise up
exactly.
to this level, and I think that's what Ernest Holmes was doing as well.
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't like don't worship me, don't mythologize, turn.
Well, if one recalls, he actually never wanted there to be any form of organization around this. So Jamie, what song do you have for us next?
This is a song that I wrote for my son. I have a 21-year-old son. Some of you have known me for a while, and he's in college. He's been at Chapman at the Dodge Film School for the last 2 years. And unbeknownst to us, he applied for the Tisch photography program at NYU and got accepted.
Yay.
So he's leaving for that. But last fall, he was just having a really hard time with Orange County. And he loved the school, but just being in Orange, I can see people understand, because he went to Agape. And he's been here. He's been here.
Remember, he used to light the candles on La Cienega.
He'd light the candles, and when he was at Global Truth Center, when they had the theater, he'd be climbing the ladders and going in the rafters and stuff. But just kind of had to remind him. So I wrote this song called for William, called "What If You Knew." What if it's true, you have everything you need? What if it's true, you could live your wildest dreams? Will you run and hide, or go along for the ride? Test the current and tide in the ocean of possibilities. What if you knew? What if you knew? What if you knew that the brilliance you're mining is you? What if you knew? What if you knew that the infinite's thriving is you? What if it's true that there's never need for shame? What if it's true that there's power in your pain? Will you run and hide, or go along for the ride? Test the current and tide in the ocean of possibilities. What if you knew? What if you knew? What if you knew that the brilliance you're mining is you? What if you knew? What if you knew that the infinite's thriving is you? Shadow and light, the yin and the yang are all part of you. The past past is the past. We all make mistakes. It isn't your truth. What if you knew? What if you knew? What if you knew that the brilliance you're mining is you? What if you knew? What if you knew that the infinite striving is you? What if you knew? What if you knew that your soul's so much larger than you? What if you knew? What if you knew your design is divine? Yes, it's true. What if you knew? What if you knew? Oh, what if you knew? What if you knew? What if you knew?
Wow. It's fantastic. What a blessing that you are for him, and I know that he is for you, but imagine if your father, that was the message that your father was giving to you as you were about to take off on a journey into the world. And not to just mention, not only is the father incredibly powerful in this home environment, but the mother, Susie, is equally as powerful and maybe more sometimes, right? A powerhouse of a woman. So we know that wherever William's headed, then it's a fantastic journey that he takes with him. He's a light unto himself. Such a pleasure to be here with you all this morning. I was really looking forward to being in person. I know that we do it once a month, and it just feels like it's been a while since we've done it. So it's a real honor to look into your eyes. I want to begin my message this morning from a line of a wonderful movie, and some of you might know this movie. It's one that rings very true for me, and I'm wanting to do this because I want to share it, but also one of our beloved board members, Dennis Goodine, had a birthday this week, and this will speak to his heart. Here's the line. You might know it. Live, live, live. Yes, live. Life's a banquet, and most suckers are starving to death. I take it you don't know the quote. So say this quote with me, and of course with gusto and in its most metaphysical tone. Live, live, live. It's three times. You clearly don't know the film. No. Now, I'm sure for many of you, you here this morning, you're very familiar with this famous line and know it's from the most fantastic classic 1950s movie starring and titled Auntie Mame, right? And for those of you, I'm a little surprised it's not a greater response. For those of you that have seen this film, clearly you're not the devotee of Auntie Mame that I am. But for those of you that have seen this film, you'll know that the Mame Dennis character was a woman who truly, truly, truly lived her life to the fullest. It's evident throughout this film that this character had somehow developed a belief system that it was her responsibility and obligation to truly live her life, and then let life, that which Dr. Holmes refers to in the text as the animating principle of being, supply her with her treasured and abundant life. Without a doubt, Mame Dennis, and Dennis Goodine, later Mame Beauregard, was not starving to death at the banquet of life. She was definitely living her life to the fullest. And because of this, I believe that she was a wonderful metaphysical role model and a fine example of unconsciously putting the tenets of this teaching into practice. But this morning isn't solely about Mame Dennis or Rosalind Russell, as much as I'm sure we could talk about both for a while and even discuss the merits of Rosalind Russell as Mame versus the Lucille Ball role when she played Mame Dennis. This morning is about you, and it's about me, which is even a bit unusual because those of you that know me, it's usually just about me, right? But I have a question for you this morning. How are you living your life? And are you experiencing and expressing your life as if it were a banquet? Or Are you a poor sucker and feel as if life is passing you by and you're simply starving to death when it comes to experiencing all that life has to offer? I think in an old school metaphysical way, we would say it would have to be one or the other. As we've evolved as conscious beings in the world, I think that both can exist in our life. We can be living life as if we were at the banquet and at the same time potentially feel like we are starving to death as a poor sucker. This morning, it's my intention to challenge each one of us to take a look at our life and evaluate to what degree, if any, we're starving at the banquet of life, and or are we participating in and experiencing life to the fullest and reaping all the benefits at our disposal as mental, spiritual beings in the universe? To ask ourselves, are we experiencing the bounty of life in our life as our life? In the Encarta dictionary, the word banquet is defined as a ceremonial meal. It goes on further to define a banquet as an elaborate, formal meal attended by many guests. Now, for the purpose of this talk this morning, I invite each of you, online and in person here, to join me in redefining a meal as not just the food and drink that we put into our stomachs and our bodies, even if that's a flat iron steak with a new heart, but to include that which we put into our minds as well. With this new definition of a meal in mind, let's take a look at the line from Auntie Mame again, as life is a banquet, and then use this new concept to assess our life. If life is a banquet, and let's all agree it is, then we are to realize that our lives are to be a ceremonial ingestion, mentally and physically, of that which brings us nourishment, fulfillment, peace, joy, and happiness. I'm going to say that again, and I want you to take it in. I want you to ceremonially ingest it, okay? If life is a banquet, and let's all agree it is, then we're to realize that our lives are to be a ceremonial ingestion, mentally and physically, of that which brings us nourishment, fulfillment, peace, joy, and happiness. Now, you may be questioning, just as I did when writing this, is it really necessary to ceremoniously ingest that which brings us nourishment, fulfillment, peace, and joy and happiness, mentally and physically? And the answer is, if we're tuning into ourselves as being conscious, practicing metaphysicians who desire to be consciously evolving on this planet, the answer is a resounding yes. Now, another word for ceremony is ritual. We've honored a ritual already here this morning. And ritual is defined as an established formal behavior or an established and prescribed pattern of observance. So if we are consciously evolved, consciously awake, mental practitioners of ingesting mentally and physically that which brings us happiness and fulfillment and peace and joy, then why is it important for us to establish a formal behavior or taking or placing in that which brings us those things? Why is it important for us to establish a prescribed pattern of observance of that which causes us happiness? Well, here's why, I believe. It's because we are mental and physical beings, that which we experience our lives as a direct result of that which we ingest into our minds and bodies. Have you ever ingested something physically into your body and it didn't sit well? My dinner last night, actually. But we've also ingested those things that have served us very well. My breakfast, blueberries, yogurt, raspberry, a little honey toast, feeling good, much better than last night. It's important to know that not just what we physically put in our bodies, but what we process into our mind is important, because we're intelligent beings. This is our nature to be intelligent beings, whether we believe it or not. And even though we inherently know this to be true, it's important for us to remember that it's important for us to act in accordance with the principle of that which we ingest into our being shows up in our experience. We've all had an experience or experiences when we then took control of that which we were ingesting in our lives, and our lives were better for it, right? Both mentally and physically. Whether this intake be happy thoughts, loving interactions, healthy eating habits, less caffeine or alcohol consumption, or daily meditation and spiritual mind treatment work, we've all had the experience of feeling better as a result of that. This is because on some level, we were experiencing fulfillment and happiness to an equal degree in the outer expression or experience of life to that which we consciously participated in while the input was taking place. In other words, at that time, we were starving a little less at the banquet of life because of our conscious ingestion. But as you notice, I didn't say that we were necessarily pigging out at life, at the banquet of life. We were just starving less. We were momentarily experiencing good in life because we had made a decision to take in that which nourishes our soul. But our life isn't about starving less as conscious beings here. Our life is about evolving and growing and not having sporadic ingestion of our good, but to create a practice of that, to ritualize the ingestion of good in our life. And we do that through not only that which we consume physically, but through the news that we listen to the people we associate with, the music that we listen to, how receptive we are in an environment such as this to feel the love that exists, and then to make sure that when we walk out the doors, we didn't leave the love behind. We take it with us and be willing to give it and give it and give it. To lead to a development of consciousness, one that is clear on its objective, that life indeed is a banquet and that we're not only worthy to feast at the banquet, but that we're meant to enjoy our lives and to participate fully in them. It's important for us to know deep within our soul that it's our inherent right. I'm going to say that again. It's our inherent right to live an abundant, happy, joyful, peaceful, and glorious life. Hear that again. It is our inherent right. Not because we're in this room, not because we were born of our mother, not because we graduated from some school, not because of some dues that we've paid in life, but because we are the expression of life itself. It is our inherent right to live an abundant, happy, joyful, peaceful, and glorious life. Is that something you all want to do? Well, how do we do that? You may be asking yourself. And trust me, I know that's a really good question, to say to the least. How and where do we begin to engage in the banquet of life when the conditions of our lives are currently less than we desire? Well, here's the answer. I believe we do this by focusing on the truth. Yes, the truth. Well, the truth of what? The truth of you, and the truth of me, and the truth of the universe. The truth, according to this teaching, is defined as that which is. It is the reason, the cause, the power in and through everything. It's birthless, deathless, changeless, complete, perfect, whole, self-existent, causeless, Almighty God, spirit, law, mind, intelligence, and everything and anything that implies reality. That was Ernest, 1926. What do we think he would say 100 years later? I think he would say, listen, girl, you're perfect. Get over it. And he would say, let go of the baggage. And be willing, just be willing to love yourself a little more and to love others. To be willing to be open to looking into the eyes of the divine and feeling the presence of God. And then to look into the eyes and 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 the eyes. And be willing to know that the presence of God is there. To let go of our human opinions of things and to simply open up. And until we're willing to do that, let's let the old school definition of truth still ring true for us. That which is. It's the reason, the cause, and power in and through everything. Now, I don't know about you guys, I'm sure it's true, but I'll speak for myself. That concept in and of itself nurtures my soul more and more and more and more every day. The willingness on my part to be open to just letting that be true gives me a surge of energy in life. Because what it does is it provides for each and every one of us an opportunity to ask ourselves, what do we truly believe about the source of life, about the power of life, about that which we are imbued with, and how do we want to use it? We all have the ability to change our awareness, and then change our awareness, and then change our awareness. Not focusing on how we identify that which is the changeless aspect of reality, but to open up to experiencing that which is forever changing, while still being steeped in that which we know to be changeless, while our opinion and experience and ideology of that which is changeless is also changing. You know, just recently, a neighbor of mine, they'd had a crazy, wild journey. It was a journey they had gone on. And when they got home, they forgot to bring their kitty cat in the house. And unfortunately, the kitty cat became consumed by a coyote. Heartbreaking, right? And as I stood and discussed this with them, my heart was breaking, and at the same time, I was asking myself, wow, I wonder where the energy of the life that's now in the coyote, but also transcendent, like where is that going, right? And do I really believe that out of what is considered a horrific experience, also one of beauty, right? Can those two things exist at the same time? And can my ideology and belief evolve to a place of knowing that I can hold sadness for the experience, honor the evolutionary process, realize that a human can make a decision that is perceived as a mistake, and life can go on, and that moment also brought physical nourishment to the coyote, which is a critical part of the balance of the world that we live in. And if life goes on, is it possible that that which is spiraled into the next expression, right, can come back and benefit all? And when this information is shared with the children who don't know that their cat is now gone, right, can they then learn more about life itself? And I thought, yes, all that can happen. And as the grandfather was saying to me, we haven't told the children yet. I wanted to step in and give my opinion, and I realized that wasn't really necessary or welcome in the moment, so I stepped away. But what I realized when I stepped away from that was, I know these children, and I know that they can be heartbroken and at the same time have great wisdom within them. And I know that because as neighbors, I've known them growing up, when my previous four-legged spiritual offspring, Sadie, passed away, they were very compassionate and loving with me. And then several months later, I had a new expression come in, and they immediately wanted to meet her. And when I introduced her to them, and at the time these children were probably 6 and 3, maybe 5 and 2, I said to them, her name is Sweeney. That's not Sadie. And the older one looked at me and said, I know, Sadie's dead. And so the reason I share that in this context is wisdom exists within us. We each have within us the ability to tap into spirit that's there and know truth that exists. For that little boy, the truth for him was, I know your dog is dead. This is a new dog, right? Life has continued on. Was willing to open up to live life in a new way. Today, we're each called to open up to living truth from a new perspective, from a place of an evolutionary perspective, a place of worthiness of knowing that we each have the capacity within us, and it's our abundant, inherent right to live an abundant life, and that we do that by tending to our thoughts, to our beliefs, to our actions, to our reactions, to our interactions with the very thing itself. And then to be open to what's possible, while consciously deciding to ingest by means of what we surround ourselves with, and oftentimes that's by being quiet and listening, the power itself. To live life and not be a poor sucker starving to death, but to open up to letting the animating principle of being reveal through us more and more of that which it is. Let this invisible law of creation provide to us an opportunity for a new perspective of the truth itself. Recently, I was driving down the road and I passed a small church. And on their sign out front, it said this: truth is. Lies have to be invented. I'll say it again. Truth is. Lies have to be invented. I invite you all to take a look at where in your life you may have invented a lie about yourself or your life. And to ask yourself, has that lie been serving you well? Is it moving you towards an experience of fulfillment and happiness? More than likely it hasn't. So the question is, why do we do that in life? Well, today is the day that we can stop doing that. And we can open up to tuning in to truth in a new way. We can give ourselves the opportunity to tap into a new universal life principle that I created and shared here years ago, and know that it can serve us. Let's bring whatever lie we may have into our world and be ready to let this new principle do its thing. You want to do that? So bring it into your mind's eye, knowing that it has power, or did have power, and then go, poof, and have it disappear. I'm calling this new principle the poof principle. And today I want us all to open up to living with the poof principle in a way that is empowering, it's forgiving, and it's creating a space for us to open ourselves to joy. I think we all know that when we hear the poof principle, that brings us joy. It's important to remember that you and I have within us the opportunity to change our lives. To change our lives. And we do that by tuning into truth. We do that by letting go of what was. And we do that by poofing that which doesn't serve us away. Have a great day. Thank you. Jamie's going to come back and sing a song for us, and then we will do the prayer afterwards. How about that, Jamie? Good.
Walk a mile or a minute in another man's shoes. He's got a path to take to find his truth. Any way you spin it, he's a lot like you. Finding his faith on roads that you'd never choose. Keep on walking. Keep on walking. Don't let it cloud your vision. Love be your only mission always. Let go of the old conditions. Let that be your only mission always. Keep on walking. Keep on walking. Tell a tale you're in it. Hear a brother man's blues. He's got a destination now and no excuse. Any way you spin it, he's a lot like you. Finding his faith on roads that you'd never choose. Keep on walking. Keep on walking. Don't let it cloud your vision. Love be your only mission always. Let go of the old conditions. Let that be your only mission always. Keep on walking. Keep on walking. One foot in front of the other, hand in hand, one with another. Walk with your sister and brother always. One foot in front of the other, hand in hand, one with another. Walk with your sister and brother always. Come on now. One foot in front of the other, hand in hand, one with another. Walk with your sister and brother always. One foot in front of the other, hand in hand, one with another. Walk with your sister and brother always. Oh, don't let it cloud your vision. Love be your only mission always. Let go of the old condition. Let that be your only mission. Love be your only mission always. Let go of the old condition. Let that be your only mission always. And keep on walking. Oh, keep on walking. Oh, keep on walking. Foot in front of the other, hand in hand, one with another. Walk with your sister and brother always. One foot in front of the other, hand in hand, one with another. Walk with your sister and brother always. That's a Floyd Lewis song. Yeah.
If you would like to get access to the Floyd Lewis music, you can do that on all the different local
Spotify.
When I say Floyd Lewis, Jamie has a writing partner and performing partner named Darren and Floyd.
Yep.
And they work together as well as sing along as music as well. So avail yourself of that if you'd like. Is my mic working? You guys hear me? There we go. Know that you can avail yourself of that. Travis is handling many different tasks in the back right now. So he's doing a great job. Let's honor him for that. So thank you all for being here today. We'd like to remind you that the Throughout the week, you have the option to tune in to our weekly meditation that takes place on Wednesday morning at 8:30. It's online via Zoom. You can get that information from our weekly e-newsletter that goes out first part of the week, or our website, CSL-LA.org, as well as you can access us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and our website, CSL-LA.org. And there's a new thought for the day that goes out each morning at 7:30. That is a 320 character max that goes out and inspires us for something. I'll read the one for today if you haven't gotten it. It says, if you ask me, learning how to transform energy is so important, it should be taught along with reading, writing, and arithmetic. And it all starts with intent, the force that lies behind everything. Giving attention to our intention is the key. A quote from Pam Grout, the author of a book I taught for us a couple of years ago. So today, let's become more and more attentive. In this moment, I'd like to give us all the opportunity to support our community financially. Sandy has got a bag she's going to pass around if you'd like to give with cash or check. Know that it's all deeply appreciated. If you'd like to give from a technical perspective, you can go to our website, csl-la.org, and click on Donate, or if our new app in the App Store, Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, there is a tab right on the homepage. You can click there. As Sandy is doing that, let's all trust and know that we continue to participate in an abundant universe, and that which we give returns to us multiplied abundantly, and that is true for us no matter where we are in the journey of our life. Our next in-person service is September 17th. And our next service is in September. You'll see that it's, I think it's the second weekend in September, and you'll find that information on our website, or if you sign up for our newsletter, you'll get emails around that. And let's close our eyes for just a moment and feel the flow of energy of good that has been given. Let's know together that all there is the one power of the divine. So with finding a sense of gratitude for the opportunity to be here today, to give, to receive, to stay in the flow of life itself. To have a new perspective on life itself, even maybe a new perspective on air conditioning. Appreciation for it. Many in the world don't get to experience it. And I affirm for each one of us today that as we depart this environment of sacred energy, that we commit to walking hand to hand with our brothers and sisters, and to those that don't identify as a brother or a sister, to just all expressions of life as they express in the totality of their being the presence and the power of the only thing there is. I affirm for each one of us that today is the day and now is the moment where we choose to live our life, and consciously and purposefully and ceremoniously ingest more and more and more that is good for and as us. And then in those moments when that's not what happens, we let go, forgive ourselves, and start anew. This animating principle of being isn't bound by previous experiences or what it may create. It just responds to us by corresponding. We let that sink into our being in a new way right now. And so we cherish the opportunity to evolve and to grow, to express, to love, to give, and to receive. As I extinguish the light of the candle that was lit today in a ceremoniously way of honoring all, I ask each of you to invite into your heart that light, and to let it be the guide for you as you navigate your humanity moment by moment, activity by activity, interaction by interaction, day by day. Being ever so grateful that the power and the presence of the thing itself exists by means of you and by means of me. All is well, and so it is. Thank you for being here today. Please avail yourself. We have iced tea, water, coffee, and snacks outside. I ask you to enjoy that and continue to share your blessings, and thank you for sharing them with us today. And so it is.
I'm so grateful I'm alive. 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 Oh.